Newhaven on Boxing Day, and he's prepared to back that up with a tenner.
I'll tell you what, I'll have a bet that it won't be a 2:30. No, it will be a 2:30 kickoff.
Yeah. There we have it from Mr. Denyer, bottling out of the local derby.
Don't stop me now, 'cause we're having a good time. We're having a ball. Don't stop. We know this one.
No, we don't. I don't know that one. Thank you.
I've got two.
They're on, both of them are on.
I've got two, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, can they hear?
Yes, we can hear.
I think this one's off. Two. I'd like to start the evening by welcoming our guests for the evening. First of all, I'd like to welcome the Mayor of Newhaven, Councillor Michael and Mrs. Harmon. I must briefly mention Mr. Harmon has had a very hectic day today with one or two things that have happened that you'll hear about on the radio tomorrow, I've no doubt. But despite that, he's made the effort to be with us tonight, and it really is appreciated. I have a list of titles now to welcome this gentleman that would last almost as long as the evening if I read them in full. But I would like to welcome, with his good lady wife, a Life Vice President of the Football Association, the President of the Sussex Football Association, and also the Chairman of the FA Medical Committee, Dr. John O'Hara. Again, it's a personal pleasure of mine to have another guest with me tonight, who I've known over the past few years and got to respect a lot as one of the major men in Sussex football, and that's the Chairman of the Sussex County League and his good lady wife, Mr. Peter Bentley. Another gentleman for the first time tonight it has been my pleasure to meet with his wife. He's our major sponsor for the next 2 years, and it really is much appreciated. I'd like to welcome the chairman and founder of Panda Diesels, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips. This evening, we have another sponsor that, if you'll see the fabulous prizes, the things that have been offered this evening, and they really have looked after us most splendidly in the way they've supported us, particularly over the past few weeks, with his lady wife, from Bright Light Windows, let me say that exactly correctly, is Mr. Brian Clark. Welcome, Brian. Thank you very much indeed. There is one gentleman amongst us. This year, being our centenary year, we've tried to give something back to Newhaven in way of support that the town has given to us. Our most valuable, I'm sure, asset, well, we have several, but one of our most valuable assets there, and has become our charity cause for the year, is a Newhaven lifeboat. And tonight we are really proud to have the coxswain of the lifeboat, and probably one of the most courageous bunch of guys anywhere on the south coast, with his lady wife, Mr. Len Patton. Finally, there's a gentleman who I'm sure needs no introduction, although I'll introduce him I better because he's already threatened me twice. This gentleman if I went through the list of his positions, would be as long as Dr. John's. Sorry. The former manager of Scotland, Johnny Watts, of Manchester United, of Chelsea, and others I'm sure you'll mention later, Mr. Tommy Docherty. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May I now ask you all to be upstanding for the Lord's toast. Would you all please fill your glasses. The toast is Her Majesty the Queen. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, to continue from our chairman's speak, it's my privilege to bring to your attention the fact that we are associated, of course, to the Football Association. The Football Association, for those of you who are interested, and I'm sure most of you are, was founded in 1863. This giving birth to the Football League in 1887, whereby their centenary, as you'll probably work it out, will coincide with their own. The headquarters of the FA, being here in Lancaster Gate, is actually the Football Association. It was pointed out to me recently by a gentleman here with us. It's not just the English Football Association, but of course it's the home of football throughout the world. This is something that we in this country should be very proud of. Large clubs and small clubs like our own are so much in debt to the Football Association for, among other things, it brings together people from all walks of life to partake and to compete with one another in the wonderful game of football. With that in mind, I would ask you too, if you wouldn't mind, to join with me in toasting the Football Association. The Football Association. If I may just continue to speak on behalf of the Football Association, we are very fortunate to have as one of our guests Dr. John O'Hara, who, as you've just heard, a list as long as your arm of titles, this man has earned, and he has with honour. One of the appointments I know, if I may say so, that he is equally as proud of is the fact that he's president of the Sussex Football Association. I know that without having so many, I can't do this without my glasses, you know, these lights. I would ask you, please, if you would, welcome tonight our honoured guest for the Football Association, Dr. John O'Hara. Thank
you. Mr. Chairman and Mick, and ladies and gentlemen, let me say straight away I am standing up. I'm not going to ask you at the back there if you can hear me, because the last time I said that, somebody shouted up, "We can hear you all right, but where are you? We can't see you." Now, my wife and I are delighted to be with you tonight. We're very grateful to you for asking us to this great party, which celebrates a wonderful occasion, your centenary. Just a little bit in front of mine. I was delighted to come here, get such a warm welcome, and to meet so many old friends. Boys who used to play when I first came on the scene 30-odd years ago. Still looking boys, still looking as if they're playing. I was very heartened when they told me that I was looking so very well. I was very heartened until I remembered the words of the old Greek philosopher who said, "There are three ages of man. First, youth. second, middle age, and third, my, you are looking well. Now, some of you asked me if I was still working, and to make it clear, I'm still practicing. I've retired 3 times, but like the comedians in the old days, I'm back again by public demand. As I still see people, I don't know any jokes, but I'll tell you some stories or two from my practice. But a fortnight ago, a little old lady came in, complaining that her legs were very swollen. So I said, I've got the tablets that'll put you right. Take these tablets, and take one every other day. Come back and see me in a fortnight. So he said, what do you mean every other day? I said, well, this is Monday, take them Monday, skip Tuesday, take them Wednesday, skip Thursday, and so on. Skip every other day, and then come to see me. So she came back in a fortnight, and I said, well, your legs are a lot better, they're perfectly all right. You didn't carry on the treatment. She says, oh, thank God, doctor. I said, why, did the tablets not suit you? Oh, the tablets were fine, but the skipping nearly killed me. I remember once coming down to Newhaven with the late and the great Dr. Drake, my brother-in-law, who was your president for quite a number of years. And soon after we got there, a young fella went down a heavy tackle, and we rushed over to see him, and we found that he'd put a cartilage out in his knee, and we couldn't get it back. So we sent him off to hospital, and he didn't come back again. So off we went after the match to see how he was getting on. We heard a terrible screaming and roaring of pain coming from the outpatient department. So we went in, and there was a young fella with his knee being manipulated by a young, strong house surgeon. And just as we got there, a young nurse came along and says, this is a terrible noise you're making, you're disturbing the whole place. I've just come from the labour ward. And there's a young girl of 19 given birth to a 10.5-pound baby, and she hasn't said a word. Oh, that's all right, Gus, says fella, that's all right. But just you try and put it back after it's been out 2 hours and see what she says. Well, I'd better say something about the FA, hadn't I? I think Mick said most of the things, but a lot of people don't know what the FA is, or what it does. The FA governs the whole of football in England, and it has a tremendous influence abroad. It makes all the rules which it expects to be obeyed. Most people think we're an aloof crowd, quite separate from all the other people in football, but we're not. I've been there 20 years, and I'm still the same man who comes down to see Newhaven, Peacehaven, Whitehawk, any team that I feel like, rather than go to sit in the stands. I'm still the same doctor, although an awful lot older, who used to come round seeing people in Peacehaven. So we're all people like myself who are just there because of our love of football and because we feel we are able to do something for football. Many people think we're old. It's an old body. Well, of course, it's not quite true, but most of us are of the older type. The reason for that is very obvious, because being an administrator of football at that level demands a lot of time and a lot of hard work, and we don't get paid for it. So many people who are very interested in football can't possibly afford to go to the Football Association, or can't give the time to go to the Football Association until they retire. And that's how you find quite a lot of elderly people there. And in addition, the young ones don't come along. We're not getting the young people wanting to be administrators nowadays. You know, as I go round, especially in that posh place, Rosendine, for I still think a lot of my friends resent me stooping so low as to be associated with that game of football. And they're very glad to say to me, oh, aren't you in a bad way? Isn't football, what's happened to the FA? All this riotous football going, all this riotous behaviour, the hooliganism, the crowd trouble, won't be long before football's finished. So I have to say to them that they don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about the trouble at the Football League matches. They don't realise that we're quite two different bodies. The Football League is just like any other league, like the Sussex County League, as far as the Football Association is concerned, except in one respect. They're much more powerful than the Sussex County League because they provide us with a lot of money by taking part in the Football Association Cup and by letting us have their players to play our internationals. And in that way they get a special regard from us, and we allow them to have a number of their people on the Football Association Council. But if it comes to any dispute, they are no more powerful at the Football Association than the County Football League. And if you just think it this way, the Football League consists of 92 clubs and what can I say, about 2,000 players. Now the Football Association controls and governs, apart from the Football League, from 43 to 44,000 clubs. And every weekend there's about 1 million to 1.5 million boys, young men and not so young men playing football. You can see the Football Association is vastly different to the Football League. And you don't hear a lot about troubles going on among the crowds at all those football grounds. So remember that the Football League is growing. Football is not getting less. When I joined the Football Association, we had 39,000 clubs in England. Now we've got 43,000, 44,000, maybe more by now. Football is becoming more and more popular, but it is being played now more than actually being watched and looked at. People also say that the Football Association doesn't care about the clubs, about the players. Well, Newhaven in particular know that when they had a grievance against the County Football Association, they appealed to the Football Association, they were received well, and their case was upheld. Even the smallest club in this country is considered as part of the Football Association and will receive special treatment. The Football Association is also a very caring association. They have a football committee of which I have a very great honour of being chairman. And we give advice to Football Association and to football clubs and to football players. As you know, we sent out documents giving advice on how to prevent, for players how to prevent themselves developing AIDS through wounds that they might get. And a short time ago, we sent out directives to every football club, Newhaven must have got it as well, every football league in the country, asking them to make sure that all their players' tetanus vaccinations were up to date. We've recently, 15 months ago, built a big rehabilitation centre up in Lillishall, where we have now taken on the care of, first of all, football players who have been injured and who apparently can't get better. And we take them from any football club, not just professional clubs. Indeed, one player from your club here has been there. We weren't able to cure him, but we were able to diagnose his trouble, something that hadn't been done before. And as a result, he'll be, after some procedure that he'll be having soon, he should be as fit as ever. I just point that out to you that a player from any club in the country is eligible to go. We have to charge fees, but if players are members of any of the insurance schemes, BUPA or PPP, they will pay the lot. We are now in the position that we are full up. And at the present time we can't take any more players. But I'm now already developing a scheme to open a second place down in the south, nearer London and Newhaven and Brighton. And it is possible that we may have to open more. Our place has become so noted that the Rugby Football League, the Jockeys Association, the Cricket Association, the Athletic Association have been round asking if we take their people in, and already we've got 2 rugby league people and a couple of jockeys having treatment. We've come so noted that we've had people at the French Football Association Medical Department coming round to inspect it because they are wanting to build one themselves. So we do care that our players do get proper treatment. We have now, one other thing we're doing, we're insisting that all football league clubs should have fully qualified physiotherapists.